So Superman plus Chronicle equals Brightburn. So Brightburn is about a husband and wife, Tori and Kyle Breyer, who are trying to conceive a child, and for some reason they can't. They hear a loud boom and the lights flicker on and off and the house shakes and everything goes dark. Come to find out, there was something that came from outer space that just crash landed, I'm assuming somewhere on their property, and in that capsule was a child. But rather than call the cops, they decided to take the child out of the capsule and raise it as their own. If something that I don't recognize crash lands in my yard and the shit is glowing and glowing red at that, nah man, we calling the cops. I don't know, I don't get it. Kids are overrated. They don't even know anything. You gotta teach them everything. But hey, you want a kid that bad? Take the space baby. Only thing kids know how to do on their own is breathe and eat. Why would you want one? But decisions were made. So fast forward years later, Brendan's now I think like 12 or 13 or whatever it is. One night he's home and he hears the spaceship calling to him and starts glowing red. He goes out there and he's just standing trying to get, he's in the barn where they've actually hidden the spaceship. Not only did they take the baby out, they picked the spaceship up and then you hide it in your barn. What? So the mom wakes him up and he doesn't know what he was doing out there because I guess he was in a trance trying to find the, get to the spaceship, pulling on the barn doors. She tells him he was sleepwalking, puts him to bed. Mistake number one right there, she didn't tell the dad. She lied and said that he wasn't in the barn and that he was downstairs sleepwalking. But after that, we see Brandon's kind of power start to manifest. I don't know if it's like a coming of age thing or he started to get really strong. One day he went to go start the lawnmower and it flew yards away and he was like shocked that he had that power in his hands. He ends up crushing somebody's hand at one point. He really is just starting to realize that he's powerful. And what I really like about Brightburn is it kind of switches the narrative up. Normally we see somebody come and develop these powers, but they try to use these powers for good. But if we're being honest, kids are horrible. Like I know a lot of kids and some of them are great kids, but they're great kids to my face. I don't know what they're doing when they're around other kids. And when I was a kid, I didn't know a lot of great kids. Just about every kid I knew around my age was horrible at some point. And so I like the fact that they take this narrative and they kind of like spin it. Whereas like he's not, you know, taking his powers and he's standing up to his bullies. He's taking his powers and he's doing whatever the hell he wants, which is I feel like it's more realistic because let's be real. Even as adults, if we had powers, everybody wouldn't be using their powers for good. I can't say if I had Avatar powers that I'd be going around trying to restore balance and order to the world. I'm just saying, if I had some power, I don't know what I would do with it. You have a lot going on when you're a kid. You're developing, you don't know what's going on. You don't really have control over your feelings and emotions. So I like the fact that when you take transitioning into your teenage years and couple it with getting these otherworldly powers, I like how that dynamic played out in this movie. What I kind of felt was weird about how they did this was there was no kind of like beginning, middle to end as far as the development of his powers. Like he got his powers and then right away he just knew how to use them, I guess. So now that I'm thinking about it and I'm reflecting back on what my initial thoughts about the lack of development for his powers, I feel like I'm okay with it if it's something that's instinctual. What I also liked about this movie was it was mainly a horror movie. The horrors of realizing that your own child is not only super powered, but he's a murderer. He's a terror, complete nightmare. Normally the parents get on my nerves, but I felt like they were both on two ends of the spectrum. One, of course, the nurturing mom. She wasn't necessarily in denial of the fact that her child was this psychotic, superpowered murderer. She was more the lines of, I know what he is, but he's our son and we can't abandon him. And the father is more like probably like me and you. He's like, nah, we gonna have to get rid of this man. Like he can't stay. He gotta go. He gotta die. Something gotta give because this shit ain't normal. This ain't normal at all. So I kind of resonated with the dad a little bit more than I did with the mom. But at the same time, the mom really didn't get on my nerves because I understood where she was coming from, not having any kids, but I could understand the compassion she had for her child. I've seen moms like that who just, no matter how terrible and how awful their children are, they just can't, cut them loose. And I feel like that's where the mom, Miss Tori Baker, was coming from. Now let's get to the best parts of this film. The gore and the murders in this film were something that I wasn't expecting. I know it was rated R. I believe it was rated R. I think it was rated R, and I was expecting, like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting to see people's guts and jaw fall apart, and I wasn't expecting to see people get holes blasted through their heads. Y'all, I was with it. I was with it. All right, now that I've talked about the things that I thoroughly enjoyed about this movie, I want to talk about some issues that I did have, and it was really only one, which was the lack of backstory for Brandon Byers. I don't even want to call it an issue with the movie. The only thing that I wish they would have done more of was kind of give us more backstory into Brandon Byers as far as where he came from. They teased a little bit in the movie when they had the mom looking up meteor showers around the day that they found him, but they didn't follow up with any of that. I don't know if they're going to do so in the future with the sequels or with other characters in this universe, but I really felt kind of meh at the fact that we didn't really learn much about Brandon and where he came from. But I'm not going to get too nitpicky on that, only because we did get a little treat during the end credit scene. We saw like this YouTube conspiracy theorist, and he was on there talking about the events that unfolded with Brandon and about him just going to destroy the world and knocking these buildings down. And he had a picture up of, I guess, somebody with a lasso and somebody underwater that was doing all of these horrific things. And I guess they were kind of alluding to future sequels being surrounded by these other kind of DC or dark superhero characters. They had talked about a lasso and, like I said, somebody being underwater. But I feel like maybe we'll get to know more about not only Brandon, but everything else as time goes on, if these sequels do come out, or if these other movies attached to this universe do decide to come out. I think it would be great to see sort of like them do like Marvel did, build a whole universe, a cinematic universe of these dark heroes, and maybe they could even build a universe full of a good kind of heroes or good guys, and have it be like a 22 movie series and have it all come to blows when both teams of good guys and bad guys kind of meet up and duke it out to see who comes out on top. All right, guys, so those are my overall thoughts and opinions on the movie Brightburn. I do feel like it's one of those movies that you need to go see in theaters. The kills, the horror aspect, and the fact that there's a potential universe being built around the story of Brightburn with other characters, I feel like that makes it worth going to go see in theaters. Definitely go with a crowd. Definitely go with a group of friends. You're going to have fun. You're going to be scared. You're going to enjoy yourself. I definitely recommend seeing this in theaters. While it's not the masterpiece that I was hoping it was going to be, it did the job. So I don't see why people are complaining. It's literally a movie about a boy who gets powers and he doesn't do the right thing with them. And they splash the horror aspect on there and boom, you got Brightburn. I really enjoyed this movie. Go check it out. That's a wrap for now. Let me know what you thought about this video and the movie Brightburn down below in the comment section. If you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Later days.